Hi, this is Miss Lavodi, and in this project I'll show you how to use Tayasui Sketches to make a project that looks like an Andy Warhol style portrait. First, start with your color reference picture and bring it into the Pixlr app. In Pixlr, you want to pick a filter that allows you to create a posterized look. I selected this filter but then decided to tone it down a little bit. Now we're going to use the Posterized portrait in Tayasui Sketches Pro. First, bring it into the app and then adjust the opacity of the layer, and that way we'll make it lighter. And then we're going to add a layer over this photo. So here I've added a layer over my photo and I've lightened it with the opacity. And now I'm using the acrylic brush tool to paint in the brightest spots on the portrait, the shapes of yellow that you see. Now in your project, you can choose any colors you want. It doesn't have to be the same colors as what's in your reference picture, but the most important thing is to still pick a color that is light. We want to go from light to medium to dark. So I'm looking for these little shapes of highlights and painting those in with the yellow on the face of the portrait. And then once I've done that, I can add another layer, and this is where we'll paint the medium color. So I'm taking this layer now and I am starting to fill in all the pink that I see, all the pink shapes. I'm going to do this throughout the portrait. Then we repeat this by creating another layer, now for the next darkest color. Then we begin to paint that in. So now I'm making a layer for the blue. This is what my layers look like so far. I have the yellow on top of the pink layer, and now the blue purple layer is going to be underneath that. So what you'll see is also I am painting over the details of the hair. Later on, I'll go back and paint those in on a new layer on top of all of this. But having the dark layer underneath the pink and yellow layer means that I don't have to worry about it overlapping it, and it'll look like I can still see all of those details. Now you can go back into the other layers or add more layers to create other details that need to come to the foreground. So what I'm doing here is lightening the blue layer or hiding it, and I am in a new layer adding the yellow flower texture. So that way I can create these details that need to come to the surface, to the foreground. Now when I bring the blue layer opacity up, I can see all the details again. In here, I'm picking a layer to add some white highlight shapes back in, just so that way we can have a little bit more detail and dimension in the portrait. So I'm adding white to the eyes, a little bit to the bridge of the nose, a little bit to the forehead and cheeks. Now we're ready for the background, so you're going to create another layer and drag it all the way to the bottom. So I'm picking a funky complementary color combination for my background, and then I'm also using the airbrush tool to create a spray paint splatter effect in the background on top of it, just a little bit. And here's our final image. Nice job!